I felt the presence of other timelines. Now, we all make a decision at one point or another in life, plenty of decisions, and that would lead us on different paths, one or the other, right? Or decisions are made that are outside of our control that put us on this path, that path, whatever it is. But it's rare to like sit in one reality on one of the paths and almost feel the energetic other you, because like all possibilities are occurring within the quantum theory, right? So it's like happening elsewhere, and I get to be in this version of reality from the perspective that I currently am in. And I was very curious as to like why that's important to feel right now. Because I'm sure there's a myriad of reasons as to why I'm feeling it, but I kind of felt like, oh, this is going to be a me read, but I am not the only person that is experiencing this, most likely. And it's like a very obvious, kind of blatant, like, you're on your highest timeline, and if this had been the choice, or if that had happened, then you'd be in this scenario. And while they may have been more comfortable or the safe seeming decision or whatever word is put on it that would keep one not on their highest timeline, you know, if you were there, then you wouldn't be here. Or perhaps you're feeling it as far as like, ooh, that decision would have been better made at a different time, etc. And then we can course correct to be. Anyway. So I asked this deck, which is the Earth and Bone Oracle deck, why it was important that I'm feeling that right now. And 38, which is 11, which is like one standing beside another one. And then the pack being the name of it. And it really, like, the second I saw this, it felt like it's a reminder of you've been saved. You're not the only one that is in control of your life, of the path that it takes. Like, we're all affecting each other, but there's also like a spirit team that is looking out for you, like ancestors, angels, however it is you name these beings. They are a part of everything. You're not alone, ever. And so, one way or another, something has stepped in and made very sure that you are on the highest timeline at this specific time as well, especially if this specific video is coming across your, you know, page and you're watching it at any point in time in the future, because it's be timeless. That is what has occurred, because it's what I'm channeling, and this is the message that is going to come to you through that. Now, specifically, what I felt and saw with this was when Radagast the Brown in The Hobbit, if this is not a reference that you get, that's absolutely fine. Because I felt like I could see this like being maneuvering through like really heavy snow, possibly like they're being chased. And I did see it like it was snow, like there's dogs in this. So I thought of, you know, people being pulled by the dogs, and so but that there's like a team situation going on there, even though the dogs are pulling, there's like you steering. And then the elements are a part of this as well. And then there's like chasing going on, but it's not even like you even feel danger or stress. It's more of a quick thinking, maneuvers, decisions, team effort, and like the flow of it is beautiful. And that's why then my brain was like, ah, yes, when Radagast the Brown is being chased by wargs, and are they orcs or are they like a different, anyway, and he's in danger, but he's got his rabbits or his hares. I think there's a certain kind of rabbit as well. Anyway, okay, I'm getting off track, but the irony. Inner work, deep connections, and soul tribe is then what is like described with this, which then kind of made me think like the reason that it's important to be able to feel very viscerally those other paths that you'd be on had you made other decisions or had other decisions being made is like, a reflection that is very much needed right now to show you the work that you've done up until this point, and that's why you're not on those other paths right now. Because it was not just others like saving you or helping you, you also were a party to this. You're in a place where you are deserving to be on your highest timeline. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of us out there that know that already, but there's not been any other examples in our life. You know, not a parent, not another adult growing up, not maybe even friends or anyone around you, except for like, you know, other spiritual friends you're possibly just meeting online and such, but not necessarily all of us are meeting people like that in person. And even so, just because someone is practicing spirituality doesn't mean it aligns with our version of what a highest good looks like for each, you know, there's no just like absolutes in like, oh, that interest aligns and makes sure that I will have friends that are like good examples to me, and you know, being good example to ourselves is another thing. But you don't have examples necessarily of what it is like to be the highest version of yourself. Like, you are most likely one of the first beings on the planet for like a really long, I mean, this is happening on a mass scale, but it's also happening slowly over generations of our species kind of continuing to grow within the realms of the consciousness that we're like being more and more aware of, and like more specifically, you know, the collective consciousness and how that is to be an individual within that, especially with our track record of how we've treated each other and like understood our worth as a species and stuff like that. So for the universe to be realizing it through specifically humans, like, we have a ways to go, but at the same time, every single step that we take matters big time to like, there's no end point, but no action that you take or don't take in alignment with your highest good is too small, is what I guess I'm saying there. But it also means that like, you don't be hard on yourself about making mistakes that, and I use the word mistake lightly because I don't love that, because it's always a lesson, right? But oh, okay, damn, that would have been something that my old self would have you know, chosen, or oh, that's a pattern that I thought that I had like let go of, or etc. But now, because you have the awareness of those things, and yeah, you thought you left them in the past and everything, but like now you get actual moments where you get to practice not choosing those. And sometimes we're going to choose them again. That's what learning is. So do not be hard on yourself. And like I said, you haven't had like a whole myriad of examples of people coming before you to show you what this even looks like in action. And even if they have been, but in their own way, it may not have translated to like how it's gonna come up for you and the challenges that you may have because of your specific path that you're on. I pulled another card while I was speaking there, and we're getting another wolf card. This deck is not full of wolves. I think like there's 2 or 3 wolf cards. Illusion, uncertainty, narcissism. Now, I picked it up upside down. And it's a moon, blood moon as well. Yeah, this feels like reversed blood, moon, narcissism. It's kind of speaking to the patterns that are most likely being left behind by you, and it's not even just your patterns or your past. This is like your entire bloodline's past, and all of our bloodlines past. I mean, human species is rampant with narcissism, lying to oneself, you know, hierarchy and keeping power over others. Like, it's the entire structure of capitalism, patriarchy, etc. that we live under. And like, you know, you can see those things via conscious understanding of oneself and negative patterns, and then see them in the bigger picture and the way that they manifest because of like people not fucking allowing themselves space to heal, but also not realizing they're worthy of it. It's hard to feel forgiveness for some people, but at the same time, happy people don't treat people like this. That almost became a Legally Blonde quote. What is it? Happy people don't just shoot their husbands. Okay. But yeah, again, there's like Ooh, okay, because I'm seeing this pack like shouting out, and I felt like, is there, sorry, I'll hold it up right so you can see. It felt like there's people calling to you, but actually this more so because it's like in reverse. It feels like these are like ancestral. Now that to me can be blood ancestor as well as spiritual ancestor. It is specifically blood moon, so I would be more inclined to say that it is aligning for a lot more people in specifics to like the family that raised them or who your blood relatives are. But those two things don't necessarily always go hand in hand. But like the people that have come before you that have been named family for a long time, whether they've acted like one or not. But then, as far as I'm concerned, our ancestors have like come in the spiritual form as well, as in my own energies, ancestral lives that it's lived. And so it's like all the ones before are like howling into the night, howling into the darkness, like they're gone. You're the one that's here to do the work now. 1111 as I said that. And it's come back around again to you, you know, with an 8. I'm also seeing 888 today and 8888 and 88 twice. So shit is coming back around. It definitely feels like a karmic balancing moment. More like justice, which we had 11 as well with the pack card. But yeah. I'm going to pull from a new deck as well that I have to see if there's anything extra. Is there a specific question that I would like to ask, though? What do you do next? I heard that from someone who's listening to this. Okay. Interesting. What do they do next? Or right now, even. Sure. All right, let's go. What? Oh, no, it's gone. Well, let it fall. Whatever the fuck happened there, let it fall. Okay, we got 52 in Sea Witch. Look at the art of this card. Ooh, damn it, the light. It's just so odd. I love this art so much. So there's octopus hair. It's not going to focus on our little Sea Witch. 52, which is a 7. Yeah, and it's a jellyfish. And this is where... Okay, I'm getting that song from Bedknobs and Broomsticks, actually. It's lovely bobbing along on the bottom of the beautiful briny sea. Ah! Okay. 13. Cool. I bought this deck at a discount because it's literally missing one of the pages that explains what the card is. That's this card. Oh, I love it so much. Okay. Well, here's this. There is not an instruction manual for this moment. Okay? Shit is gonna fall. Did you see the orb? Shit is gonna fall where it's gonna fall. Let the cards fall where they may, so to speak, especially because this is a 52, so, which is the amount of cards in, like, a playing card deck, right? You already know what to do. And I know that seems like blanket advice, but it literally is speaking volumes that you've been able to look at what just went down, even if you think you made some sort of mistake or you're sitting in pain or regret right now or like sadness, or maybe it also isn't your decision, you know, but like it's still something that you're now moving through of like, why the fuck is that happening again? Why is that coming back up? Why in general? Which I know is like not necessarily a question that we sit for as long in when there's a certain level of spiritual practice, because those questions are answered far off, you know, into the in fucking hindsight. Maybe we never get an answer as well, and learning to be okay with that is a huge weight off. Maybe that's what you need to let go of, is like trying to find the answer to the why for right now. Because usually the why is coming from a place of trying to understand something that happened that was someone else's decision in someone else's control, meaning that that is, you know, even if they tell you an answer, is that helpful? Is that the truth even? Can you trust it? You know, there's a myriad of things that come up with that. Random extra fact that just popped into my head, so I'm like, all right, I'll just say it. When the tarot decks were being created, they were, was it playing cards first, or was it basically the coins, things that eventually became coins or pentacles in our current tarot deck? There's a really good little, like, concise 2-3 video thing that someone made. I'll try to find it and see if I can link it beneath, because it was like a really cool way to learn about tarot, and there's so much digging into history that this person did that goes like down to the back of like actual playing cards and where it began, like, and how it traveled from like east over to west in and over time periods that, like, I was just like, oh, I didn't realize it was, anyway. Okay. But when, I don't remember who uses the word for it, but myriad is the word that is used for like coins or pentacles for a long time, because it had to do with like abundance. Anyway, seeing that in a material way is one thing, but there were different suits back then, so because people, you know, money has looked different for a long time. And the queen was taken out for a short time from like all decks. Was it Germany that did that? Just like an all male court up there. They had the page, the knight, and then the king, no queen. And then she was added back in later. I can't remember who did that, but anyway, okay. Okay. I'm sure there's symbolism that's going to be helpful for someone. There's like this black like fan that's made out of wood that doesn't look like in the best repair. There's octopus hair, many more than 8 arms. There is a pale ass child who looks kind of calm, maybe bored even. A black and white fish, a little jellyfish skirt, and a red top, and like, you know, they're deep in the sea because we're seeing the sea floor here. We're seeing sea witch. The fact that it says witch and it's a young child person brings this kind of like, this is the intuition, the knowing that you have, the stuff that you're moving through. Like, you've had the power to understand all of this about yourself and about the world forever, for the entire existence, before your lifetime in this one, but like, it has always been within you. You've been the authentic you from the beginning, and then a load of shit was piled onto it. And maybe it's a moment of like, all of that shit has now pretty much been worked away. Like, you really have met your authentic self. You are doing the work to live as them. You're revealing your child self, and it may look weird as fuck. What is this array of stuff other than fish themed? It's random and it's odd, and like, it's still just what it is. Look how calm. They're like, you know, just, this is me. Fuck off. You know, what do you want from me? This is me. And I'm getting big like Aries energy from this being, even though they're like under the sea, but maybe it's all the red and such. Okay, so is that answering the question, or have I just gone off on tangents because I do that? And the deck has split here in my hands. Interesting. Interesting. Mermaid's Love, which was the first card that I ever pulled from this deck. 24 was on the bottom, which is a 6, so like unconditional love in general. But the description and the thing was about, in the little book that came with it, was about like balancing forces, which is bringing the scales back to mine. 6 does have like, you know, it's an even number, so there's balance there, but it's like there's a grounding force and then there's a flighty force or whatever, ungrounded, a balance of like masc and femme energies in this like unity. it feels like that's really coming together within you, that being at the bottom of the deck. And also, like, we're underwater, but his hat's not flying off. I'm just going to say he to make it clear who I'm speaking. Well, hat would have made it clear as well. Clearly the hair is, like, acting as if it's underwater. Anyway, the one that I had picked was 36, House of Flowers. So anything else that we needed to know is, like, look at the fucking abundance and beauty that's inside of the structure that you have been working on within yourself. And it's okay to allow this to open up for people to see the flowers. It's okay to try to let people in. It's okay to get hurt doing that. Because we're not always going to know these people, you know? You have to try it, see how it goes. Friendships, family maybe that you're letting back in, relationships, whatever it may be. These are your innards, okay? And they're not going to be tarnished now by this. You've already done all of the pruning and all of the planting and all of the work, and it does continue to take self-loving care in whatever practices that you are using and what new ones continue to develop, because this is not to say one's relationship with themselves ever ends. Maybe there's something new that really needs to be, you need to add at least one more thing to whatever your current self-love practice is. That burp just felt like, but there's space for one more thing, and I really, really want to be heard in here, something from like deep within. So whatever just came to your mind when I said that. Look at them bringing the leaves. Looking at the leaves? It's up to you. Alrighty, I'm actually going to read the description from this card, but it is a 9. Okay, oh, I opened it right on the page. Cool. Power of nature, joy of life, diversity, and beauty. Out of this small white house on the top of the hill bursts flowers full of life and rich in colors. It is like an explosion. The two ladies walking by look tiny in comparison to the giant falling leaves. They enjoy the enormity of nature, the power of its diversity, but even a single bloom in a vase can transform a space, each petal a world unto itself, and a wonder of creation. This card signals love for life in this moment, full of energy, beauty, and joy. I love that, because I think we need a little of that in this moment. You know, and it's okay to sit in an understanding of what isn't, what currently is. But in full acceptance at the same time of where you are at. And don't be scared to, like, feel how you need to feel and express what it is you need to express, even if, like, the sentiments don't necessarily fully align with the way that you would speak to yourself normally, if that makes sense. It'll make sense to somebody, because there's ways that we speak when we're manifesting, when we are showing gratitude, when we're looking at the world through that perspective, and it can feel then like to speak in any way that is not aligned with that could undo something, could threaten the abundance, could threaten all that. You are abundance. You have recognized that. And you also deserve to express yourself how it is you need to express yourself so that this releases. Okay. Ooh, okay. I kind of love this deck. And I just got like a really excited feeling about like what's to come next. So I'm going to do that, and I don't normally. What is on the horizon to look forward to? What's within? Okay, with 2 cards and a bottom card, please. Thank you. Is that 2 that fell together? It was more than 2. It was more than 2. We'll let you be the one then. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Bottom of the deck is injustice in reverse, which is, you know, a release, or you are standing against and disconnecting from the victim mentality that has been a part of a lot of our pasts. Two of arrows, though, is two of swords, which is big, like cross, not open to information, choice energy. Really depends on kind of the art. But this one comes with scales. I'll just turn it up right so you can see scales and a blindfold, which is not normal of the two of swords. But the symbolism in this deck is what this is, right? Arrows. But anyway, so the fact it says injustice means that it can see itself. It's just that, like, she is standing on the arrow. She's holding those across herself. She's got the blindfold on. Nobody is holding her. It's very Eight of Swords vibe. And it's in reverse. Like, it has not been easy to necessarily get to this place of being able to see yourself clearly and allowing yourself to feel this stuff. But you have been. And the power is within you to do so continuously. I don't know why I felt like biting that card. It's never happened before. Okay. And we had Guardian behind that, which is another 6 card. Oh. I'm on low battery. Okay. Okay, and then I asked, I'll be doing this backwards now. I asked what is like within you right now, right? Current energy sort of read. And I got the Knight of Bows, which is the Fox, which is the Knight of Wands in this deck. And one of the questions that's on this, because Knight of Wands has its own thing, but this is specifically what's called the Wildwood Tarot. And I'm not a huge fan of the book. Sometimes, like, it's got good breakdowns, but I'm not a big fan of the wording of some things. Can come back to that another time. Anyway, what can you make haste at more slowly is one of the questions for this specific card that they have. And then also, like, this is the imagery, in case that's helpful at all. I just love all the trees and imagery of animals and stuff, and this is very beautiful. And so maybe there's an element of something that, like, you're rushing through, but I feel as though there's an impatience. That's what it is. It's an impatience to get to the next thing. And sure, this moment might be unpleasant, or confusing, or unclear, or, like, you know, you've done the work, and, you know, I know there's manifestation coming in. I know there's balance. I know that there's, like, justice being restored, etc. Where is it? Because that'd really help, like, right about now, kind of vibe. And it's coming sure as the seasons change. That's what it feels like I have to say about that, because then what I've seen here is all of these cards, what is it, 4 behind the first one, and I asked for one card that spoke about what it is that is to look forward to, what's coming in. And we have, like, okay, funny I said what I said, because we have all 4 seasons in the tree. This is the world card in their deck, and it's an oak tree. Can we tell that from the leaves in the design? Okay, to me that's an oak tree. Either way, something very strong, and, like, the width of this, right? It's been growing for many, many years. Lots of wisdom and stature and, like, safety, protection, groundedness, and all 4 seasons, mad acceptance, wholeness, understanding of the cycle of everything. And there is a Celtic maze. Is that what they're called? They're really specific, like, spiritual designs that remind me of the phrase that within a maze, I think they're called labyrinths, but anyway, within a maze, one gets lost. Within a labyrinth, one finds themselves. Is that a quote from the movie Labyrinth? Regardless. That is what is sitting in front of the little door here. Like, when I say huge things, huge changes, it feels like, yeah, the foreseeable future has like small and big shifts. But what we don't get to see yet is that those small and big shifts, because they're going to come in a myriad of ways and things that you probably won't even notice happening, but they are setting you up on a path towards something that is as grand as this design, as this like place to live, you know, like it's protected. It is interconnected to like the wholeness of everything. It's like you're the people around you understand what it is to be a part of the oneness, the partnerships, the life that you're leading, the way that you act in this world. It understands the cyclical wholeness of what life is. And I'm saying wholeness so specifically because there's a ring in my ear now. It's like when we grow in our spiritual self, when our spiritual selves gets a lot of our attention, when we give our shadow side attention, when we do a lot of emotional growth and unlearn certain patterns and start living in this way, and then we hear about words like ascension and stuff like that, it's like to then be crying over something that seems like beneath you. I don't love that wording, but I'm going there just because it's easier for like translating this. That still is a part of a human experience. You're having a spiritual experience, but you're having it through a human vessel. So you don't outgrow some of the ways that we just exist here on earth. They're a part of the whole experience here. And accepting that not only lessens their burden that you may feel like they have on your life, having to sit and cry, having to feel shitty for a certain amount of time, because that's a part of processing, like, which is why it's important to cry or to release whatever negative charge, perceived negative emotion you are having in a healthy way, and find continuously different and better ways maybe to like release those things depending on where you're at. Because otherwise they stay in you, and you know that already. You know that already. You don't want this stuff to remain in you as like not only pain, but as illness, as muscle knots, as confusion and questions, and like you may never get the answer. That felt like it was for someone specific. Okay, so what's important though is that also these are, well, they're a mirror slightly of what's on the back of the card, which is a tree that has like its own little maze. This is an ending. 21 though is 3 in numerology, which has to do with like connections, and celebration, and depending on how you look at it, you know, communication and stuff like that, and like, you know, a point to which we can like circle back around to the beginning of something else because we've now leveled up, kind of a vibe. Or we end up back at the start again, depending on, you know, the steps that we take or the choices, whatever it is. Because of everything else that I've said, it's a level up. But it does also come with an ending. And this is like the nirvana in a sense of the deck, it feels like, where it's like, or a death, an ending, right? And what is behind it is 4 cards, all in reverse, which kind of felt like, wow, there is massive things shifting in the collective that is hearing this, that came to this video, that this video came to. And those things have to do with not only the burdens that you feel, but like specifically the responsibilities that you feel that you like have to other people out of obligation, not because you actually have a symbiotic or loving relationship with them, right? Released. King of Arrows. Harsh words. I think particularly also like a person who's harsh. I'm seeing water in the background as well, so I feel like they're actually seemingly like a really, and this does not have to be a male. I specifically am like, oh yeah, there's like a female person, a woman specifically, in that I would picture that I'm anyway, Capricorn energy, sea goat, right? Earth and water. With mean, harsh words, that kind of energy. Maybe it's a person that lives inside of your head though, and like as in a version of you who's been harsh to you, who plays on your emotions and such, because like we have, right? Oh my god, the light in this, I will work on that. Reversed, released. Then we have the Knight of Vessels, which is like an eel in this deck. Love that for the Knight of Cups. Slimy, untrustworthy romantic energy. Released. Anyone bringing that shit into your life, like, you're not having it anymore. And then we have the Three of Stones, which is the Three of Pentacles. But specifically what stood out to me is, oh my god, with this, creativity and it being in reverse. And also specifically, look at, like, this being looks rooted, but they literally are being blinded. There's no movement. They're like in these stones, like it looks almost like they're being protected, but there's just like sky being blocked by all these barren, like bare leaves, and like they look stuck. They do not look like a creative being, and it's reversed. So whatever it is that is possibly within you that has been blocking creativity, released. All of those things are what is behind this, because that's where you currently are moving towards already because of the decisions that you've made. All of this stuff is now behind you. Literally, they were behind the card. And that fell out as one group. They didn't even fall apart. Like, and I must say, it felt very cathartic to throw each of those cards. So I hope you enjoyed that factor also. Okay, I'll just leave you with the reminder that you are doing your best, and you have not had examples of the, oh, again, one. There's 4 ones. Because I restarted a new video, because that one, my phone died. Don't overwhelm yourself trying to do the most right now. We are, I really don't want to time check this too much, but we're in a time collectively of massive transitions. You're doing enough because you're doing enough for you and your well-being when it comes to specifically living in a timeline that is, or in a lifestyle, in a way, in the timeline that is aligned with your highest good. Like, you're living as the universe in a conscious way. And I just got this memory of something I used to say to myself all the time. The universe loves living as you. Like, the universe loves living as you. It's living through you at this very moment. You are it, it is you. And maybe the mentality of that can help when you're making certain decisions, because you're not only not alone because of a spirit team, but like, you're a vessel that this like beautiful, amazing, brave as fuck energy decided to house so that it could come to the planet Earth now. I mean, a lot of times on this earth I could say the exact same thing and that would be like, why the fuck would you come now? But also, why the fuck would you come now? Unless you knew how fucking important it was for you to be authentically who it is that you are, to remember who that is, bring that to your life in every way that you possibly can, while also surviving in a human body, because these pieces happen in tandem in the wholeness of what it is to exist on this planet. So like, big picture, You only have control over your actions, your words, the things that are within your scope of control. Duh. So thank you.